Once upon a time in a city far, far away, there was a man who sold lamps. He was very good at his job, so good that people would come from all around to see him. And if they didn't have any lamps to buy, they just sat down and listened to the wonderful stories he told about the magic lamps he had for sale. In this ancient eastern city, the bazaars bustled with merchants hawking their wares, the air thick with the scent of spices and the sound of bartering. The towering minarets of mosques pierced the sky, a silent testament to the wealth of the sultans who once graced them. But amidst this splendor, a stark contrast existed, the slums where the light of prosperity never shone. In one such destitute abode lived Aladdin, the son of a poor tailor. Despite his humble beginnings, Aladdin possessed a mischievous glint in his eye and a heart full of dreams. His days were spent weaving scraps of cloth into fantastical shapes, and his nights were filled with tales of adventure, brought to life by the flickering flame of a oil lamp. For young Aladdin, reality was often dull compared to the vibrant world conjured by his imagination. One fateful day, his father, a once skilled tailor, succumbed to a sudden illness, leaving Aladdin and his widowed mother to fend for themselves. Without the lamp, their small house became colder, their meals more meager, and hope more distant. Then one morning, a stranger arrived, claiming to be Aladdin's long-lost uncle. Donning fine robes and jewels, he promised to Aladdin and his mother a life of comfort, all thanks to a secret mission he needed Aladdin's help for. With gentle words and false affection, the disguised sorcerer whiles away his time until it's finally time to depart. He gave them gifts and told them he'd return soon. Then one night, under the cloak of darkness, the sorcerer returned. He told them he had urgent business that required them both, especially Aladdin. He told Aladdin his mother would get a chance to live comfortably for the rest of her life. All he had to do was accompany him on a quick trip to the desert to collect something for a secret mission. Although suspicious, Aladdin's mother knew how desperately they needed money, and the prospect of escaping their squalid abode was too tempting to pass up. So she agreed. Aladdin and his mother got on the sorcerer's elephant, and before long, they reached a remote area in the desert. The sorcerer instructed Aladdin to dismount, saying his mother would wait in the shade while he showed Aladdin where to find what he needed. But really, he planned to trick Aladdin into fetching an old oil lamp from a magical cave. As Aladdin approached the cave entrance, he saw incantations carved into the stone, sealing it shut. Only those who uttered the correct phrase could open it. The sorcerer handed Aladdin a small rock and asked him to put it in the opening. The rock fit perfectly, and when Aladdin pushed it in, the entrance swung open, revealing a vast cavern filled with treasures untold. Jeweled trees glittered, carpets floated, and enchanted wonders filled the air. Mesmerized, Aladdin stepped inside. Meanwhile, the sorcerer watched Aladdin disappear into the cave, a cruel smile playing on his lips. Once the entrance closed, he ordered the elephant to depart, leaving Aladdin trapped inside. Aladdin wandered through the cave, bewildered by the wonders around him. Then he noticed a tarnished old oil lamp hidden beneath a pile of jewels. The sorcerer had instructed him to find an old oil lamp. So, without hesitation, he grabbed it and ran to the entrance. But alas, the incantation had changed, and no matter how hard he called, the entrance remained sealed. With the lamp clutched tightly, Aladdin sank to the ground, despair creeping in. But then, a thought struck him. Perhaps the lamp held the key to his freedom. Rubbing it gently, he made his first wish to escape from the cave. As the lamp glowed, a mighty genie appeared, swirling with smoke and flame. Startled, Aladdin stumbled back, his wish echoing in the vast space. And then it happened. The cave trembled. The ground rumbled like a mighty earthquake. And as the dust settled, the cave entrance stood open. Sunlight streamed in, illuminating the path to freedom. Overjoyed, Aladdin rushed out, not stopping to grab the lamp or any treasure. Freedom was his only treasure now. He raced back to the city, heart pounding with anticipation. But upon reaching his home, he found it deserted. His mother and the sorcerer were gone. Had they abandoned him? Or was something more sinister at play? Disappointment and fear gripped him, quickly replaced by determination. He would find his mother no matter what. With newfound purpose, Aladdin set out to find his mom and the deceitful sorcerer. He scoured the city, asking questions, following leads, and even braving the dangerous alleys where thieves lurked. But days turned into weeks, and still there was no sign of his mother or the sorcerer. Hope began to dwindle, replaced by a heavy sadness. Just when his spirits were at their lowest, he remembered the lamp. Hurriedly, he pulled it from his bag and rubbed it. Again, the genie swirled into existence, radiating power. Aladdin, though initially frightened, quickly regained his composure. Looking into the genie's glowing eyes, he realized the lamp's true potential. This was not just a tool to escape a cave, but a source of unlimited power. With the genie by his side, Aladdin's resolve hardened. They would find his mother, and he would uncover the sorcerer's motives. His first order to the genie was to take him to the finest food shops in the city. Then he dressed in fine clothes, ate delicious food, and felt as if he were living a dream. Afterward, Aladdin returned home and hid the lamp. He didn't want anyone to know he had such power. From that day on, Aladdin used the genie's powers discreetly, always careful to hide the lamp. Whenever he wished for something, he did it in secret, fearing that if others knew of his power, they might try to take it from him. The lamp became his most precious secret, a tool to improve his life without drawing attention. Aladdin started small, ensuring he always had enough food, a warm place to sleep, and new clothes. He also used his wishes to secretly help others, providing food for the hungry and money for the poor. It wasn't long before his life took a turn for the better. Then one day, Aladdin's mother returned home from the market with food supplies. She was surprised to find the house in much better condition than when she left. The walls were newly whitewashed, the floors polished, and a delicious meal awaited her on the table. Startled, she went to check on Aladdin, but his room was empty. As the days passed, more changes occurred. Aladdin's house became known throughout the city for its cleanliness and the delicious smells wafting from its windows. People whispered about the mysterious benefactor, who seemed to be helping the poor and needy. But none knew it was Aladdin. One evening, Aladdin's mother discovered the lamp hidden in a corner. At first, she was confused, but then she understood. It was the lamp. It was giving Aladdin these powers. She was so happy that her son was no longer poor. With the lamp by her side, she could finally relax and enjoy her life, knowing her son was no longer the ragged street urchin she once feared he might become. After all, Aladdin had been nothing but kind and respectful to her, always sharing his food and making sure she was comfortable. It was only natural that he should live a life of ease and comfort. And so the two of them lived happily ever after. The genie granted many wishes, and Aladdin used it to ensure that the lamp would stay with him forever. That is why the story of Aladdin will live on forever!